In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Glory to Jesus Christ.
Glory forever.
Today, beloved, the Master takes 3 disciples up a high mountain. And on this mountain they meet Moses and Elijah. So why are Moses and Elijah present? Why? I'm indebted to His Holiness Patriarch Daniel of Romania. He talks about Moses and Elijah. He says, they also sought the face of God. They wanted the vision of God. Moses said to the Lord, let me see your face. He wanted to see God. And God led him up a high mountain, Mount Sinai, to see him and also to converse with him and receive his law. Elijah didn't necessarily ask explicitly to see God, but his whole life asked for this. Because Elijah was exceeding zealous for God in a way that was really dramatic. And so Elijah also, after he had done his great act in Mount Carmel, God said, go to Horeb. And they gave him food, this angelic food. And Elijah traveled for 40 days and 40 nights without stopping for rest until he got to Mount Horeb and he saw God. God revealed himself to him. And so both Moses and Elijah were led up mountains in order to see God. And here the disciples are led up by God himself up a high mountain that they may see. So what is the mountain? The mountain is desire. And the summit of the mountain is the fulfillment of desire. No one ever climbs a mountain haphazardly. Sometimes if you want to clear your thoughts, you say, let's walk in the field. Let's go walk down my street. I have to think. Maybe people pace when they think, I do this. Right? But no one paces up a mountain. You climb a mountain only because you have desire. When I was in college, or when I had just graduated, my roommate and I, we said, let's climb this big peak next to Bozeman. Okay. We were not in shape for this. So we decided to do it. And so we went for this long hike. There's a long hike that leads up to Highlight, which overlooks this reservoir outside of Bozeman. It's very beautiful. And so it's the middle of summer, so we're hiking and we're wearing shorts, t-shirts, and tennis shoes or something like this. And we're hiking. We hike all day, and there were like 7 waterfalls along this hike. They're beautiful. And we get up to this beautiful lake underneath the peak, underneath the summit. And we eat lunch there, but we're tired already. And we have not that much further to go, but we're already tired, and we start to hike through snow. It's the middle of summer, but it's Montana. And I don't remember how deep the snow was, but I'm sure it was touching my calves. And we were going through the snow. And it was much harder now because you have to work harder through snow, and we were already exhausted. And finally we get to this final slope, and the slope takes us up to this ridge, and from the ridge you reach the peak. And this slope is very steep, and it's covered in snow, and the snow has been baked by the sun, which means that it's kind of partially melted and it's very slick. And our legs are like rubber already. And so now we have to climb up this final slope. And we have to actually crisscross it. We can't climb it up vertically because it's so steep. So we have to crisscross the slope until we get to the top. And we are just exhausted. We're slipping and sliding as we're trying to make it up. And I don't remember if my roommate said, let's go back. I'm sure he probably had the temptation. I don't know. I certainly had a temptation, but I was underneath the summit. I could see the summit. Why would I not go back? Why would I go back at this moment? Right? And so I continued. We reached the ridge finally. Oh my goodness, we were dead when we reached the ridge. But then we made the final several hundred yards up to the peak. And we reached the summit. And we were rewarded with a vision. We saw all the surrounding mountains. We could see for miles in all directions. We received vision. Our desire was fulfilled. When you climb the mountain, you have to have desire. There is no other way to climb a mountain except by desire. And in the Psalms, the Lord says, in Psalm 80, he says, open thy mouth wide, and I will fill it. St. Athanasius says, this means, increase your desires, and I will satisfy you. That's what God says. Everything begins with desire, and God calls us to holy desires. The mountain purifies desire because when you're climbing the mountain, you might ache, every part of your body might be tired, you might be thirsty. We probably ran out of water during this hike. You probably had all kinds of things that were going on, but the desire to reach the summit overcame every other desire. And that's why the Lord leads his disciples up a high mountain. Because vision is only at the heights, and the height is only found by desire. Very few people climb mountains, beloved, and even fewer see God because there's little desire. We must examine our hearts and see, do we have this desire? What desires do we have? And do we have the one desire? And we should give voice to this one desire. The knowledge of God and the vision of God await all who actually desire to behold and to see and to know. May God grant all of us to behold and to see and to possess knowledge. Through the prayers of the holy apostles, and the prayers also of Moses and Elias, who ascended their own mountains unto God.